The 4th of July holiday weekend sees its share of barbecues, fireworks, and unfortunately, trips to the hospital. Pew Research Center found that July 4th and 5th are the busiest times of year for emergency rooms. Hear from a pair of Kentucky emergency medicine doctors on ways you can avoid seeing them this holiday weekend.
You know, families work really hard all year round to keep their kids safe. And so I wouldn't take a day off on July 4th, basically. I would think about what are the risks here and how can I mitigate those risks, right? So maybe you're going to go to professional fireworks instead and enjoy them. Maybe you're going to get your kids glow sticks and flashlights and let them run around with those. And that way you don't have to worry so much about the heat from a different type of firework or sparkler. It's always a busy week to be working, I feel like, in the emergency department.
The most common injury we're going to see is firework-related injuries, which could come in two forms. The first would be burn-related injuries, and then I would say the more violent one would be the mechanical from the explosions. And typically we're going to see those to the hand, the face, and then also the eye. And that's going to be both from the explosion, but then also the shrapnel or the pieces, and then the heat injury.
And I got to tell you, though, we see injuries at all ages. So it's hard to say, this is the right age. Even things that are really common, like sparklers, boy, they just get really, really hot. And I think a lot of parents wonder, at what point is this okay? I mean, obviously, I would, of course, defer to the laws wherever you live.
So I think protective clothing, protective gloves, eyewear would be a must if you have any type of usage of the firework. So if you're 200 yards away watching the firework from a chair, that's one thing. But if you're someone that's in the vicinity where the firework's going to go off, I think protective eyewear is number one. And then protective clothing. And so, making sure that if there is sparks or embers that are flying, make sure you're wearing, long pants, a long sleeve shirt, some type of either jacket or some type of fabric that's a little bit more flame retardant, and then gloves would be a big one. So, definitely the thicker, the more protective glove that you can wear. I mean, sometimes we see people that have injuries that are mechanical. They have a dislocated finger, but it's easy to put back in because they had a large glove on or something that's protected them from the burn or that type of aspect. Holding the firework in the hand. This is the big one that we see where they're holding it, they light it. It doesn't go off. They keep holding it. They don't think that it's lit anymore, and then boom, and then it goes off.
A lot of bleeding, a lot of burns. So it can be very, very hard and very preventable, thank goodness.
Well, let's avoid all of that. Now, for those celebrating the holiday by the pool or lake, Dr. Anderson recommends designating a water watcher to keep an eye on the swimmers.